Look, if you are still keeping all your cash in a high-yield savings account and thinking you are winning at life, I need you to wake up right now. Here is the deal. Inflation is not just a headline on the news. It is a silent thief that is breaking into your bank account every single night and stealing your future. If your money is earning 4% in a bank, but the cost of rent and food and insurance is jumping by 8%, you are not saving. You are slowly going broke with a smile on your face. I get it. The world feels like a total dumpster fire right now. We see the layoffs hitting LinkedIn every morning. We see housing prices that make us feel like we will be renting forever. It is exhausting and it is heavy, and it makes you want to just spend your whole paycheck on a vacation just to feel something. But listen to me, being afraid and staying on the sidelines is the most expensive mistake you will ever make in your entire life. I learned this the hard way. Oh shit, I remember 2020 like it was yesterday. I had just walked across a virtual stage with a degree and entered the most uncertain economy of our lifetime. I was terrified of losing my first corporate job, so I did what every uneducated beginner does. I tried to get rich quick. I stayed up until 3 in the morning trading short-term options on tech stocks I did not even understand. I was chasing the hype and buying into meme stocks because some guy on a forum told me we were going to the moon. I lost thousands of dollars in a matter of weeks. That was money I had earned by sitting in soul-crushing meetings and grinding out spreadsheets for 40 hours a week. It felt like a punch to the gut. I felt like a total failure. But that failure was the greatest gift I ever received. It forced me to stop playing games and start learning how the world actually works. Wealth is not built by catching a lucky break or timing the market perfectly. Wealth is built by being a boring, consistent, and disciplined owner of the most productive assets on earth. Since that wake-up call, I stopped gambling and started the real work. I went from zero to over $120,000 in my portfolio, not because I am a genius, but because I became a machine. I stopped being a consumer and I started being an investor. I want to share the exact blueprint that changed everything for me. First, we have to talk about the foundation of every real portfolio, VO. VO is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. When you buy one share of VO, you are not betting on a single company. You are buying a small piece of the 500 largest and most profitable companies in the United States. You own Apple, you own Microsoft, you own Amazon and Nvidia and Alphabet. If the American economy grows over the next 20 years, you win. It is the ultimate set it and forget it wealth machine, but here's where people mess up. They buy when the market is at an all-time high and they panic and sell when the headlines get scary. That is how you stay poor. You need to adopt a dollar cost averaging strategy. Every 2 weeks, the second that paycheck hits your account, a specific amount goes into VO. I do not care if the market is up 10% or down 20%. In fact, when the market is down, I am actually excited. I am buying the world's best companies at a discount. That is how you build a massive gap between you and everyone else. Then we have to talk about the income side of the game. SHD. SHD is the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. This is for the people who want to see real cash hitting their brokerage account every single quarter. It focuses on companies that have a proven track record of not just paying dividends, but growing them every single year. If VO is your growth engine, South Carolina HD is your fortress of stability during my journey to $120,000. I realized that seeing those dividends hit my account was the psychological edge I needed to keep going. It feels like a small win every few months that reminds you why you are sacrificing today for a better tomorrow. My personal strategy is dead simple: 70% VO for that long-term growth, 20% SAG for that rising income and stability, 10% VUG for a little extra tilt toward high-growth technology. This portfolio covers almost every base you need to build serious wealth. But let us be real for a second. The math is the easy part. The hard part is the man or woman in the mirror. You cannot build a six-figure portfolio if you are constantly upgrading your lifestyle to keep up with people who are probably broke and drowning in debt. Anyway, you have to live below your means. I am not telling you to live in a dark room and eat beans for every meal, but I am telling you that you need to prioritize your future freedom over your current ego. Every $100 you invest in your 20s or early 30s is worth $1,000 or even $2,000 by the time you want to retire. That means every time you buy a pair of sneakers you do not need, you are literally lighting $1,000 of your future on fire. Think about that. The next time you are at the mall, the system is designed to keep you as a cog in the machine. It wants you to be a consumer. It wants you to stay in debt for a car and a house and a lifestyle you cannot afford. The only way to break the chains is to become an owner. Stop being the person who buys the new iPhone every year and start being the person who owns the company that makes it. The market is going to be volatile. That is just the reality of the game. There will be months where you look at your portfolio and it is deep in the red. There will be years where it feels like you are walking through mud and getting nowhere. But history has shown us over and over again that the patient always win. The people who stay invested when everyone else is running for the exits are the ones who end up with the freedom to live life on their own terms. I am just a regular guy who works a regular job. I just decided that I was tired of being afraid of the future. If I can go from a broke graduate in 2020 to having a $120,000 safety net in 2026, you can absolutely do this too. It does not require a high IQ, it requires a high level of discipline and a long-term vision. Stay focused on the process and ignore the noise. The world wants you to be a distracted consumer. I want you to be a focused owner. We are in this together for the long haul. I want to go even deeper on why this matters right now. In 2026, we are living through a massive transition in how the world handles money. The gap between the people who own assets and the people who only have a salary is becoming a canyon. If you stay on the side of just having a salary, you are going to get left behind. The prices of everything you want, a house, a family, a comfortable retirement, are being bid up by people who have capital. If you do not start building your capital pile today, the cost of entry will only get higher. I know it feels unfair. I know it feels like the game is rigged. In many ways it is. But you have two choices. You can spend your energy complaining about the rules of the game, or you can learn the rules and play to win. I chose to play to win. When I was looking at my portfolio hit the $50,000 mark, I realized something profound. The second $50,000 was much easier to get than the first. That is the magic of compounding. Your money starts having babies, and then those babies have babies. Eventually, the growth of your investments will outpace the money you are putting in from your job. That is the tipping point. That is when the game changes from a struggle to a snowball, but you never get to the snowball phase if you keep melting your ice every time you want to buy something. Shiny, keep your ice. Let it build, let it get heavy. I talk to so many people who say they will start investing when they make more money. That is a lie you tell yourself to feel better about your current lack of action. If you cannot manage $1,000, you will not be able to manage $100,000. The habits you build today are the foundations of your future empire. Start with $10, start with $50. Just start. The friction of starting is the hardest part. Once you are in the market, you are a participant. You have skin in the game. You will naturally start caring more and learning more. I spent so much time in my early 20s worrying about the perfect entry point. I waited for the perfect dip. I missed out on months of growth because I was trying to be smarter than the market. Here's a secret. Time in the market beats timing the market every single time. If you just stayed invested in VO for the last 50 years, you would be a multimillionaire today regardless of when you started. The same will be true for the next 50 years. The world is not going to stop innovating. People are not going to stop wanting a better life. Companies are not going to stop trying to increase their profits. When you own an index fund, you are capturing that collective energy. It is the most efficient way to build wealth ever created. And for my fellow corporate workers, listen closely. Your 401k is a tool, but do not let it be your only tool. A lot of people think their retirement account is enough. It usually isn't. You need a taxable brokerage account that you can access if you decide you want to retire at 45 instead of 65. That is where the $120,000 changed my life. It gave me the confidence to know that I am not a slave to a paycheck. If my boss becomes unbearable tomorrow, I have a runway, I have options. That psychological freedom changes how you show up at work. You are no longer acting out of desperation, you are acting out of choice. You become a better employee and a more confident person because you have a pile of go-away money sitting in the background. That is what I want for you. I want you to have that quiet confidence. I want you to look at the economic chaos and see opportunity instead of disaster. I want you to be the person in your friend group who actually understands how to navigate the storm. So let us recap the logic one last time. 1. The bank is not your friend. A savings account is for your emergency fund only, nothing more. 2. Ownership is the only way to escape the rat race. Buy VU 3. Dividends provide the fuel and the mental strength to stay the course. Buy SEG. 4. Discipline is the variable that determines your success. Stay consistent. 5. Tune out the noise. The media sells fear because fear gets clicks. Wealth is built in silence. I am doing this every single day. I am still investing my VU. I am still living below my means. I am still focused on the 10-year horizon. Join me. Stop being a spectator in your own life. Take the wheel. Start today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today, I believe in you because I was you. I know how it feels to start from zero. I know how it feels to lose money, but I also know how it feels to win. And winning is much better. Look, let us talk about the trap of the middle class. The middle class trap is when you earn a decent salary, maybe $80,000 or $100,000, and you think you have made it. So you buy the $40,000 car. You move into the $2,500 a month apartment, you buy the clothes, you go on the trips, and at the end of the month, you have $200 left. You are one bad day away from total disaster. You are essentially a high-paid slave. I refused to be a high-paid slave. I kept my rent as low as possible for 3 years. I kept driving my old car until the wheels almost fell off. People asked me why I was being so cheap. I was not being cheap. I was being free. The $120,000 I have now represents a level of freedom that a new car could never provide. It means I can take risks. It means I can sleep through the night when the headlines talk about a recession. The math of compounding is beautiful, but the psychology of compounding is even better. When you see your net worth grow from $5,000 to $10,000, you feel proud. When it goes from $50,000 to $100,000, you feel powerful. You start realizing that you are the architect of your own life. The world is full of people who will tell you why you cannot do it. They will tell you the market is rigged. They will tell you that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. They are right about the rich getting richer, but they forget to tell you that you can join the rich by becoming an owner. The barrier to entry has never been lower. In 1980, You had to call a broker on a rotary phone and pay $100 in commissions just to buy one share of a stock today. You can buy a slice of the entire American economy for zero commissions from a device in your pocket while you are sitting on the toilet. There are no excuses left. The only thing standing between you and a six-figure portfolio is your own desire to look rich today versus actually being rich tomorrow. I am not here to sell you a course. I am not here to tell you I have a secret indicator. I am telling you to be boring. I am telling you to be consistent. I am telling you to be patient. Every time you want to buy something to impress people, take that money and buy VU instead. Every time you get a tax refund or a bonus at work, put it into SHD. Every time you think about selling because the news is scary, go for a walk and turn off your phone. The winners in this game are not the smartest. The winners are the ones who can control their emotions. I am 26 years old and I have already secured a future that most people will never see. I am not bragging. I am telling you this so you know it is possible. I am just a guy who decided to stop being a victim. I am a regular corporate worker just like you. I deal with the same emails. I deal with the same stress, but I have a secret weapon. I have a growing pile of assets that are working for me while I sleep. I want you to have that weapon too. Imagine waking up and knowing that even if you never worked another day in your life, your basic needs would eventually be covered by your portfolio. That is the ultimate goal. That is what we are working for. Do not let the shiny objects of 2026 distract you from the freedom of 2036. Stay the course. Ignore the noise. Keep your head down and your savings rate high. The world belongs to the owners. Go out and own it. I get it. You might be thinking, but what if the market crashes tomorrow? What if 2020 happens again? What if we have a lost decade like Japan here? Is the reality, if the entire US economy permanently collapses, your cash in the bank is going to be worthless anyway. If we go into a deep recession, the companies in the S&P 500 are the ones with the most resources to survive. By owning VU, you are owning the survivors. You are owning the winners. The risk of not being in the market is far greater than the risk of being in the market. If you stay out, you are guaranteed to lose to inflation. If you stay in, you have a historical probability of winning that is over 90% over a 20-year period. I like those odds. I am betting on the fact that humans will keep trying to solve problems. I am betting on the fact that companies will keep trying to make money. I am betting on the future, and I am betting on myself. You need to start betting on yourself too. Stop waiting for a sign. This is your sign. Open that account, set up that automatic transfer, make your first buy, feel that rush of becoming an owner for the first time. It is a better high than any purchase you will ever make at a store. I am here with you. I am doing the same thing every month. We are building our freedom one share at a time. Look at the numbers, feel the logic, trust the process. The road to $120,000 was not a straight line. It was a jagged, messy, stressful journey, but it was worth every single second of sacrifice, and your journey will be worth it too. I promise you that. Keep moving forward, keep staying curious, and most importantly, keep staying disciplined. The noise will always be there, the fear will always be there, but so will the opportunity. Grab it with both hands. I will see you in the comments. I will see you in the next video, and hopefully I will see you at the finish line of financial freedom. One more thing before I go, do not forget to live a little. The goal is to build wealth, not to become a miser who hates their life. Find the things that actually bring you joy and spend money on those. Cut everything else. That is the true secret to a happy and wealthy life. Wealth is about choice. Make the choice to start today. Peace out. Look, if you are still watching this, it means you really want this. It means you are part of the small percentage of people who actually have the attention span to learn. That is your first competitive advantage. Most people will watch a 30-second clip and think they know everything. You just sat through a deep dive into the reality of wealth. That alone puts you ahead of the curve. Now, take that focus and apply it to your bank account. Take that focus and apply it to your brokerage. Wealth is not a destination, it is a habit. It is a way of seeing the world. When you see a crowded restaurant, do not just see people eating, see the revenue, see the profit, see the underlying stocks that might own that franchise. Shift your mindset from a user to a builder. The world is a giant puzzle of cash flows. Your job is to direct as many of those flows as possible into your own pocket. That is what VU and SHD do. They are the pipes that connect the global economy to your personal bank account. Think about that. Every time someone buys an iPhone in Tokyo or a coffee in London, a tiny fraction of a